I'm sharing something today from a really long time ago, but for someone, it's just the right time, and it is 5 o'clock for someone somewhere. So, when I was a child, I suffered terrible breathing problems. There was a time when I was rushed to the hospital with a code blue respiratory emergency. And being so little, I didn't understand what was happening, and I kept saying, I forgot how to breathe. In reality, I almost died that day and I had to be saved. After those breathing emergencies, I even had to sleep with a special breathing tent around my bed. Eventually, I grew out of that, and when I entered my teens, I took up smoking cigarettes as an attempt to fit in with the crowd. It wasn't long before I was knee-deep in a very strong addiction. I smoked for over 20 years. My childhood breathing problems came back to me when I was smoking, and many nights I would cough so hard that I could barely breathe. Because this habit was causing such toxic health problems, I began getting really strong convictions from the Holy Spirit to quit smoking. I needed to make a change in order to physically survive. These convictions prepared my heart to cross over, like a baby sea turtle that crosses over from the land to the water in hopes to save his life. It was really frustrating. I tried so many times to quit. In fact, I tried relentlessly for 7 years. Every week I would pick myself up and try again. From cold turkey to patches to medical prescriptions, nicotine gum, the 12-step program, fasting, prayers, books, strange prescriptions, I've tried it all. Sadly, I ordered this really strange pill from a foreign remote country that I didn't even know what it was, just because I was so desperate to overcome this addiction. The withdrawals were unbearable, and it was like I couldn't even breathe when I was trying to detox, and I just wasn't strong enough. It was too hard. And only someone that's actually been through a severe addiction can understand that sometimes we just need a miracle to cross over. It was a really awful experience, and I had so much shame. Every time I smoked, I'd feel so ashamed, and I remember crying and to God and just begging God to help me because I just didn't know what to do. And one day I was in church and I distinctly heard the Holy Spirit say to me, "It's time." I knew in my innermost being that "it's time" meant it was time to quit smoking for good. It was time for me to be like a sea turtle and dig myself out of the sand and cross over into the sea. After so many times of trying to quit, the Lord was asking me to try this time by His power manifesting to deliver me. I could tell the Lord was very serious. This moment seemed really monumental too. It was like the exact moment when a baby sea turtle finally pushes through the sand and digs himself out of that deep nest. It was a designated time when I had to cross over, like a sea turtle that follows the light of the horizon to cross over the dangerous beach sand to his ocean destination. I agreed to trust God and do things His way. I said, "Okay, God, just let me go home and have one more," typical thing for an addict to say, "and then I will quit for good." Except, instead of agreeing on my terms, the Lord said, "No, no more. It's time now." Well, let me tell you, it took a whole lot of trust to accept this order. Because, like the disciples trying to pull up fish all night long and having no results, I had already been down this road. I mean, I had tried week after week after week for years, and I could never do it. And God was expecting me to believed that this time would be different. However, God gave me the grace to accept, and I threw away my cigarettes immediately. And that was really hard, but God's strength gave me the power to resist that one last smoke. What happened next was astonishing. God took over, and I was instantly delivered from a 20-year smoking addiction. I never had another cigarette again, and it's been many years since that moment. I never even had a single craving, which was a miracle in itself because I normally couldn't go more than an hour, definitely not more than 2 hours without a cigarette. I was extremely addicted, and then I didn't have a craving, not even one, because I went when God said it was time. God took all my cravings away. The only discomfort that I felt was finding new ways to walk through my life. I had to get used to not smoking before and after meals or upon first waking up every morning. I also had to find new ways to calm myself when I was upset or worried. And that was not even that hard either, because I had the Holy Spirit helping me through each step of the way. So I just want to share this and say that if you've been praying about getting help from something and God has asked you to trust Him and act, then it's really important to trust His timing, because that's your miracle. That is when the waters are being parted for you. That is when it's time to cross the Red Sea. That is when it's time to be like a sea turtle and dig yourself up, to trust God and believe that this is your time. When God says it's time, it means it's really His time. And you are about to embark on a miracle treat and a wonderful encounter of His compassionate heart. I pray this blesses you today.